Before dawn breaks over the open water, the ocean looks calm, almost empty. But beneath that calm surface is one of the most contested spaces in modern security. Vast, difficult to police, and constantly shifting, the maritime domain has become a preferred route for organized smuggling networks moving high-value cargo toward North America. What unfolds far from shore rarely makes headlines, yet it plays a critical role in national security every single day. For decades, smuggling routes have adapted to pressure on land borders. As checkpoints, walls, and surveillance increased on shore, criminal organizations turned outward to the sea. The logic was simple. Oceans are wide, patrol areas are enormous, and the cost of detection is higher. Small, fast boats could blend into commercial traffic. Fishing vessels could be repurposed. Cargo could be transferred mid-sea, beyond the reach of local law enforcement. What once seemed risky slowly became routine. The challenge for the United States has never been a lack of awareness. It has been scale. The maritime approaches to the country stretch thousands of miles, from the Pacific to the Atlantic to the Gulf. No single agency can cover that space alone. That reality forced a shift in how maritime security is approached, not as a series of isolated patrols, but as a layered system designed to detect, track, and interdict threats long before they reach shore. This evolution did not happen overnight. Early interdiction efforts relied heavily on visual patrols and tips from partner nations. Crews scanned the horizon, guided by radar systems designed for conventional navigation, not covert targets. Smugglers learned quickly. Boats ran without lights. Routes changed constantly. Transfers happened at night. The ocean became a chessboard, with each move prompting a countermove. As trafficking volumes grew, so did the stakes. Maritime smuggling is not just about illegal goods. It is tied to money laundering, human trafficking, weapons movement, and regional instability. Profits from maritime routes fund broader criminal operations on land, fueling violence and corruption far beyond the waterline. The sea may seem distant, but its consequences are not. Recognizing this, U.S. maritime forces began shifting toward intelligence-driven operations. Instead of searching blindly, patrols became guided by patterns, shipping anomalies, unusual routes, timing inconsistencies, and behavioral indicators. Information from international partners, financial tracking, and aerial surveillance started to converge. The ocean was no longer just water. It became data. This shift marked a turning point. Rather than reacting at the last moment, forces could now position assets ahead of time. Cutters moved quietly into likely corridors. Aircraft extended the range of surface ships. Communication between agencies tightened. The focus was no longer on chasing boats, it was on controlling space. One of the most significant changes came with the integration of aerial platforms. Helicopters expanded the reach of surface vessels, allowing rapid identification and interception. Fixed-wing aircraft provided wide-area coverage, scanning hundreds of miles in a single mission. More recently, unmanned systems have added persistence, staying aloft for hours and feeding real-time information back to command centers. These technologies do not operate in isolation. A typical interdiction may begin with a faint radar return or a data flag raised by analysts thousands of miles away. That information moves through secure networks, cross-checked with maritime traffic databases and historical trends. If the indicators align, assets are tasked. An aircraft locates the vessel, a cutter adjusts course, a helicopter launches. Each step is deliberate, measured, and legally grounded. When contact is made, precision matters. Boarding teams are trained to approach safely, communicate clearly, and de-escalate whenever possible. The goal is control, not confrontation. Maritime law enforcement operates under strict rules, balancing security with international law and human rights. Every decision is documented. Every action is accountable. This professionalism is not accidental. Crews spend years training for scenarios that unfold in minutes. Navigation, identification, search procedures, and medical response are rehearsed repeatedly. The ocean is unpredictable. Weather shifts rapidly. Mechanical failures happen. Smugglers may abandon vessels or attempt evasive maneuvers. Preparation is what keeps missions safe and effective. Coordination is equally critical. No single ship or aircraft has the full picture. Command centers integrate feeds from sensors, partners, and intelligence agencies. Information flows continuously. allowing commanders to adjust plans in real time. If a target changes course, assets reposition. If weather deteriorates, operations adapt. Flexibility is built into every layer. This integrated approach has reshaped the maritime security environment. Smuggling networks now face uncertainty at every stage. Routes that once felt safe are monitored. Transfer points are disrupted. Vessels are intercepted far from their intended destinations, breaking supply chains before they reach land. The cost of doing business at sea has increased significantly. Deterrence is not just about stopping individual shipments, it is about altering behavior. When networks lose cargo repeatedly, trust erodes, insurance costs rise, recruitment becomes harder, the perception of control shifts. Over time, pressure at sea reduces pressure on land, easing the burden on border communities and law enforcement agencies inland. The impact extends beyond US borders. Maritime interdiction often involves cooperation with partner nations across the Americas. Shared information, joint patrols, and coordinated legal processes strengthen regional stability. Smuggling is a transnational problem, and effective responses recognize that reality. Collaboration turns isolated efforts into a unified front. Technology continues to shape this landscape. Improved sensors can distinguish small vessels from waves. Advanced analytics can predict likely routes based on environmental and economic factors. Secure communication links allow seamless coordination across agencies. None of this replaces human judgment, but it enhances it, allowing crews to focus where it matters most. Yet challenges remain. The ocean will always offer concealment. Smuggling methods will continue to evolve. Autonomous vessels, low-profile designs, and complex logistics networks are already emerging. Staying ahead requires constant adaptation, investment, and training. Maritime security is not a finished project. It is an ongoing process. There is also a human dimension often overlooked. Long deployments, rough seas, and high operational tempo take a toll on crews. Maintaining readiness means supporting the people behind the missions, ensuring rest, mental health resources, and career sustainability. The effectiveness of any system ultimately depends on the individuals operating it. Why does all of this matter? Because maritime security is not abstract. It affects communities, economies, and national stability. Disrupting smuggling at sea reduces the flow of illicit goods that harm public health and safety. It weakens criminal organizations that exploit vulnerable populations. It reinforces the rule of law in spaces where enforcement is difficult but essential. The broader implications reach into global security. Safe and regulated seas are vital for commerce, energy, and communication. When criminal networks gain control of maritime spaces, they undermine that stability. Effective interdiction protects not just borders, but the integrity of international waterways. As the sun rises over another patrol area, the ocean returns to its familiar appearance: vast, quiet, and indifferent. But beneath that surface, a complex system is at work. Ships patrol unseen routes. Aircraft trace invisible lines. Analysts watch patterns unfold. Each mission is a small part of a larger effort to maintain balance in a space that resists control. There are no dramatic finales, no single decisive victory. Maritime security is measured in consistency, in disruptions rather than declarations. It is the steady application of law, technology, and cooperation across thousands of miles of open water. And while most people will never witness these operations firsthand, their effects ripple far beyond the horizon. In the end, the sea remains what it has always been: a challenge and an opportunity. How it is governed reflects priorities, capabilities, and resolve. Through patience, coordination, and professionalism, maritime forces continue to shape an environment where the rule of law reaches even the most distant waters.